So I had this idea for a mini sort of YouTube series, and I'm gonna title it, I think, the Playbook. It's basically gonna be like tips and tricks, like one or two tips and tricks per character, like how to deal with certain tools that they have. And I'm gonna start with base Vegeta because he's a really strong character with some pretty ignorant tools, and I can give you like one or two ideas or strategies to get around his EX knee drop and his EX flying kick. There's a few important things to note about these two moves. So I'm gonna set him to, let's do reversal knee drop first. Let me see. Yeah, so the EX knee drop, first of all, it comes out 26 frames. It's invincible, just like a flying kick. However, even though the knee drop is faster in startup, it actually has invincibility on a way later frame, right? So let's say I do 6M, right? So that way we're both even on block. If I take my turn with a jab, he gets counter hit because his invincibility doesn't start till about frame 10 or so. Like if I do a 2M, then I get smoked. Whereas EX flying kick starts up in 30 frames, 29, 30 frames roughly. It depends on, you know, where you are on the screen. It could start up faster or slower. The closer he is towards you, the start faster it will be. But I think between 29 and 30 frames is going to be the average. But the invincibility starts up faster. So if I were to try and do the same thing, my jab will whiff, and then at this point I have to be ready to block it or reflect it or things like that. But there are a few ways that you can like kind of deal with this pressure, and I'm going to show you one that I think is pretty significant in higher level play when people are fighting this character. So there's typically two main instances where he wants to use EX flying kick or EX knee drop, and it's either going to be randomly, like let's say after he throws like a key blast or something in neutral, and then he just wants to just spend bar and EX flying kick or do something like that, because most of them are pretty crazy. And the other is in staggers, which is a little bit harder to deal with because you don't know when he's going to really stop and go for knee drops. So we'll go over at random first. So I have him set to do like a IAD back key blast and then pick between flying kick and knee drop, and he'll do them at random. It's complete 50-50. Right, so the best way to deal with this situation is to just get the hell out. There's no reason for you to try and just guess which one he's going to do. So as soon as you see him flash, as soon as you see that flash and you have like you're not like in a disadvantaged state or anything like that, you're best off up backing, get away from everything, let him spend the bar, reset neutral, and things like that. There's no reason to engage and then you try and get smoked because you tried to press a button, you guessed he did he did knee drop like that. You could be right, but then you could be very wrong, and then he just gets a free conversion, and nobody wants that. So now in staggers, like I said before, it's a little bit more difficult to deal with because he can just stop the stagger at random, like just doing like jab or jabs at the mediums, however he wants to stagger, and then picking an EX move to do. So it'll be a bit harder to deal with, right? But you have like an option, which it'll take some time to practice, but you want to like delay reflect, but you're gonna reflect in the opposite direction because you're trying to reflect flying kick, but you want to just block the knee drop. Risking punishing knee drop is too dangerous because you can be right and be rewarded, right? But you don't always want to just risk the 2H and then the flying kick just smokes you, right? You want to get the reflect because reflect leaves him a minus 25. So if you time a reflect really late in the direction of flying kick, you'll still be blocking the knee drop, and then you'll get your reflect punish on the flying kick. So it'll take some time to practice, but I do think that something like this is very worth it, because a lot of base Vegeta players are just going to be random because the reward is so high either way. So I definitely do recommend practicing it. I hope this little bit of information helps you just smoke all the random base Vegetas online that have been killing you with EX moves. And even at the higher level, as I said, something like this I think is very, very important, just to make sure like you can't get bullied, or they can't like just rob you out of a character or out of a game. And you can leave your thoughts and all that good stuff in the comments. Any other characters that you might have an issue with and you want some tips or anything like that to deal with certain things that they do, just leave a comment on which character that you want me to talk about, and I'll be glad to help you out. So thanks for watching, guys.